Hey, everybody. I wanted to take some time today to share some of my divine downloads that happened this week as I meditated, prayed, gave myself Reiki, practiced yoga, and wrote in my journal. So today, I wanted to continue what I've been doing in terms of my Thriving Mindfully 6 months to 60 journey of sharing lessons, 60 lessons over the next 6 months about what it means to turn 60 and use this heart-centered approach of thriving mindfully that I've been doing for the last 30 something years. So, this um, this divine download revolves around vulnerability. Vulnerability. It's lesson number 1 in my 6 months to 60 sharing. And today I wanted to share that the biggest divine download was that the grief that I've been experiencing over the past 11 months and now 19 days since my mother made her transition, my mother, Teresa B. Garton Leeke, made her transition to ancestorhood, has been vulnerability is grief. My vulnerability is grief. And grief means a lot of things to me. And over the last 11 months and 19 days, I have certainly dived deep into death, loss, and grief and journaled about it, prayed about it, meditated, created art, shared, made videos. And so today, vulnerability is grief for me. And I wrote a poem that dives a little deeper into it, and I wanted to share it. The poem is entitled Death, Loss, and Grief, 11 Months and 18 Days, and I wrote it yesterday. Mirror, mirror on the wall, tell me, dear mirror, are death, loss, and grief gonna show up from now on every winter, spring, summer, and fall? The mirror responds, you already know the answer. There's no need for me to say it out loud. I'll leave the last words to you if you're ready to surrender now. A part of me wants to resist and put up a fight, make a scene, have a fit, act out, cuss like nobody's business, run so far away that I don't have to deal with this shit. Another part of me knows that no matter what I do or say or where I go, I'll be dealing with death, loss, and grief in some way every season of every year until Spirit calls me home. That part of me needs to write death, loss, and grief another letter. A letter to reflect, to release, to reset. Dear death, loss, and grief, it's almost been a year since Mommy's spirit left her physical body and transitioned to ancestorhood. This year I've been floating and sometimes drowning in your ocean of vulnerability. Every month has been wrapped in waves of change that have the power to wipe me out when I least expect it. You've been wanting me to have a relationship with you. I've been resisting and putting up boundaries. You've been persistent, relentless, uncontrollable, scary, messy, overwhelming, exhausting, spiritually and emotionally expensive. I keep telling you to leave me alone, but you don't. You have stalked me from day to day, week to week, month to month, showing up each season knowing you're not welcomed, wanted, or needed. I have tried to escape your existence, but there's no place to hide. You are everywhere, creating tsunami waves of change in an ocean of vulnerability. In the past year, I've learned you are too big of a change for me to handle and navigate alone. The only way I'm going to get through you is to surrender to and grow through you with grace, grounding, and gratitude. I call on grace because this shit is hard. I need 24-hour access to unlimited grace. Grace for me looks like me giving and receiving an abundance of care, expressed as self-love, self-kindness, self-compassion, self-acceptance, and self-forgiveness that lets me be and show up the way I am without the pressure of performing, perfection, productivity, or proving myself to anyone. I call on grounding to ensure that I tap into my spirituality and self-care practices for support. I call on gratitude to remind myself of how blessed I am, to have a choice, to cultivate and to experience and connect with the love I share with my mom, Teresa B. Garton Leeke, my wise, loving, well ancestor. I gotta be honest and say, I would have never volunteered to live the past 11 months and 18 days without my mom, Teresa, on Mother Earth. I can say that I'm happy I was able to live 58 years, 7 months, and 9 days as Teresa's daughter while she lived in the physical realm. I'm even happier to say that I'm able to learn how to be, love, live with my mother, Teresa, now as my loving, wise, and well ancestor. See you in the next letter. Love me. So that's what's been happening with me. If you are struggling with death, loss, and grief, and you're looking for support, I want to invite you to check out my Grief in You monthly 2-day retreats. We have one coming up on June 29th and 30th. There are retreats in July, August, September, October, November, and December. You can go to anandaleeke.com/events to get more information. And I'm going to be giving some special discounts in July and August, so stay tuned for that. There's some special discounts for June as well. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.